Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem Synagogue here in Montgomery, Alabama. I am Rabbi Scott Kramer. I hope everyone had a nice week and enjoying the cold and the time off. Thank you for joining us for Kabbalat Shabbat this evening. We are praying out of Sidor Lev Shalem, and we begin page 5 with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 11, Psalm 95. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzor yishenu, nekad mafana betoda. Naria, naria, letzor yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzor yishenu, nekad mafana betoda. Naria, naria, letzor yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. We continue responsively. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Come then, let us bow and kneel. Let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai who formed us. For Adonai is our God. If only you would listen today to God's voice and not become hard-hearted, like the people at the Merivah, like the time at Massah in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought. For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are a people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my way, so in anger I swore they would not enter my rest. Arba'im shanakut bedor v'almam toeh levavem ve'im lo yad derachai asher nishpati v'yapi im yevaun el menuchati. Page 13. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruch shemo, basru meyom leyom yeshuato, sapru v'agoyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim nifliotav, ki gadol Adonai. O mehulal miyod, no rahu, alko Elohim, lai lai lai, kiko Elohe ha'amim melilim, v'Adonai shamayim ma'asa had v'hadar lefanav oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho havu l'Adonai mishpachot amim havu l'Adonai kavod v'oz havu l'Adonai kevod shemo Seu mincha uvahu lechadzorod av lai shtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh chilu mipanav kol haaretz imrum vagoyim Adonai malach aftikon tevel balatimot yadina amim b'meisharim yismechu hashamayim v'tagil haaretz Ayir amayamu melo yalo sadai vechol asher bo lai azir anenu kolat seyar lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz ishpot tevel betzedek V'yamim be'emunato Yalai la 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 Yai la 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 Yai la 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 Yalai la 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 Yai la 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 Yai la 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 Yai la la la. We continue page 15 with Psalm 97. Joy, would you lead us responsively, please? Page 15.
Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad. The many distant lands rejoice.
Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about.
Flashes of lightning illume the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth.
The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and all the nations see God's glory.
Worshippers of idols be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God.
Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment.
You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine.
Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful.
Life is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holiness.
Or Zarula Tzadik will Israel have simcha, simchu tzadikim barunai, v'hodu v'zecher kadisho. Thank you very much, Joy. Page 17, Psalm 98. Amizmor shiru ladonai shir chadash, ki niflot asa hoshia lo yemino. Uzaroa kodsho adia Adonai Yeshuato Le'ena goyim gilad tzidkato Zachar chastav emunato Leveit Yisrael Ra'u cholav se'aretz Et Yeshuat Eloheinu Horiu l'Adonai kol haaretz Pitzchum ve'ranenu v'zameru Zamru l'Adonai bechinar ve'kol zimera Bechatzot rod ve'kol shofar Horiu lifnei HaMelech Adonai Yiram hayam u'maloho Tevel v'yoshveva Neharot yimcha uchaf Yachad harim yiranenu Lifnei Adonai kivo Lishbot haaretz Yishbot tevel b'tzedek Ve'yamim b'meisharim Yalai lalai 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 Yalai lalai 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 Yalai lalai 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 Yalai lalai 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 Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. Yalla la 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 la. We continue page 19 with Psalm 99. Barbara, would you lead us responsibly?
Adonai reigns, nations tremble. The one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake.
Adonai is great in Zion above all nations. They shall acknowledge your name, saying, Great, all-inspiring Holy One.
Sovereign springs light in love of justice, and records the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly.
Exalt Adonai, our God. Bow down before God, the Holy One.
Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon the divine name. Called to you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai our God. You are a forgiving God to them, even as you punished them for their transgression.
Exalt Adonai, our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain, for Adonai, our God, is holy. Romemu Adonai Elohim v'ishtachavu lahar kadosho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise for Psalm 29, page 21. Mizmor leDavid, havu ladonai b'nei Elim, havu ladonai kavod vos, havu ladonai kavod shemo, ishtachavu ladonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, ela kavod yirim Adonai hamayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai be'adar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et al ze halvanon, Vayarkidem kemo egel, Levanon v'siryon kemo venrehemim, Kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Yecholeo Ayalob, Vayechesop Yaharod, Uveichalo Kulo Merkavod, Adonai Lamabul Yashav, Yeshev Adonai Melech Leolam, Adonai Oz Leamu Yitain, Adonai Yivarech et amo v'shalom. You may be seated. We continue page 23. Lecha dodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala P'nei Shabbat nikabela, Shamar v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu elam yuchad, Adonai echad, Ushamo echad, L'shemu tiferet v'litila lecha, Dodi lekrat, Kala p'nei Shabbat nikabela, Lekrat Shabbat, Lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habiracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshvat chila lecha, dodi lekrat, kala p'nei Shabbat nikabela, mikdash melech ir melucha, kumitzi mitocha hafecha, rav lach shevet, B'yemek habacha, v'hu yachamohu alayichem lalecha, dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela. We rise as we turn to the last stanza of Lecha Dodi, page 25, and we face towards the west to greet the Shabbat bride. Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha uvetzala, tochem munei am segulam, bo'i chala, lecha dodi lekrat, kala P'nei Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. And we continue with Psalm 92, page 27. A psalm, the song of the day of Shabbat. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name most high, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. The arrogant do not understand. The fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms, only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies shall perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzadik tamar yifrach ki erez balvanan yizke shetulim bevet Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva deshenim verananim yeyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri below Avlatabo. Page 29, Psalm 93. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned, you are eternal. In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. Once again, Shabbat Shalom. Hope everyone is having a nice holiday season, nice times off with family and friends. I'm glad that you have joined us this evening for Shabbat. This week's Torah portion climaxes the action of the last two portions. It began with Joseph's self-centered dreams that resulted in his brothers selling him into Egypt as a slave. Through a series of events, first down and then up, Joseph came into his own and rose from the depths of prison to become Pharaoh's second in command. In this position, Joseph was in the right place at the right time to save his family from a devastating 7-year famine. After the brotherly reconciliation, Jacob moved the entire clan to Egypt, 70 in number, to join Joseph and his two sons. In our portion, Vayigash, in Genesis 47, it says, Uvenei Yosef, asher yulad lo v'mitzrayim nefesh shnayim, kol hanefesh levet Yaakov haba'a mitzrayima shiv'im. And Joseph's sons who were born to him in Egypt were 2 in number. Thus the total of Jacob's household who came to Egypt was 70 persons. Here, the Hebrew word for soul is written in the singular form. nefesh. Nefesh, we always think of that as soul, but in the Bible it means life, it means actual life. But the form of this noun is in the singular. The plural form for souls, nefashot, would have made the English translation make more sense, but the divine author of the Torah was trying to make a point. With Esau, in contrast, Jacob's brother, where there were 6 people, the Torah refers to them as 6 souls, using the plural nefashot. Rashi, our medieval French biblical commentator, asks, why this difference? Why use soul in a place where souls would make sense, when in another case that is exactly what we find? Rashi says that the answer is that there are many times when Jews are required to form a minyan of some type. 10 for a prayer quorum, 3 for a quorum for Birkat HaMazon, the grace after meals, 3 rabbis for Beit Din, etc. Jews are held responsible for one another's actions. For as it says in the Talmud, Kol Yisrael Averim Zeh Bazeh. All of Israel are responsible for one another. The Torah thus wrote the word nefesh, for all of Israel are a single soul, as it were. But this is not true for Esau, where no one was responsible for another one. Each person is separate from each other. Therefore, there in the case of Esau, the Torah wrote nefashot. I find great comfort when Jews come together in worship, as opposed to trying to pray by myself, which I always have a hard time doing. The community aspect of joining together to give thanks and to pour out our heart and soul to God is soothing and hopeful. All Israel is responsible for one another. When I moved to Los Angeles from Salt Lake, I joined a congregation in Valley Village called Agudath Ariel, and they had daily minyans twice a day, morning and evening. And I hadn't lived in a community like that since I left Baltimore, but was overwhelmed by the Jewish opportunities. Whenever I think of my time in Los Angeles, I think of these minyans that I used to attend, where both actors and janitors, everybody in between, would come together twice a day for minyans. And it was the happiest I was ever in a shul before I came to Montgomery. But I just loved those minyans. And when I got to Montgomery, I found that there was still this great, even though we had fewer people, we had fewer services, we still had a great community of Jews here. Some places where Jews come together, it doesn't feel warm, and there doesn't seem to be a continuity or togetherness. Some of them are places that I've traveled and prayed in, but Montgomery seemed to be different. And since the pandemic, we've kind of lost that getting together in each other's presence. Yes, we have online, and thank God for all that come online. It still feels like a community. It still feels like we're all together. I would much rather see a sanctuary full of faces, though. There's nothing like coming together in a service where we're all singing the same songs that we sang from our childhood till now. It's very, very comforting. So when I pray in a congregation, I don't look at that as 4 souls in this room. It is one soul in the entire room, all praying together. With that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. And we'll continue our service with Ma'ariv. Please rise. Page 39A for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Avoed. You may be seated. Baruch et Adonai, our God, sovereign in time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. O Mahavir Yom Mevi Laila Mavdil Ben Yom Vein Laila Adonai Tzvaot Shemo El Chai V'Kayim Tamidim Lo Chalenu Lam Voed Baruch atah Adonai Hamari Varavim. Page 40. Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadita al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachveinu v'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam voed. Ki hem chayenu be'orech yameinu uvahem menege yomam v'layla v'avatcha tasim imenu la'olamim Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ho'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha V'shinanatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha v'kumecha u'kshartam liot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot b'ninecha u'chdabtam nam zuzot beitecha uv'isharecha v'haya im shamo et tishmeo mitzvotah asher nochi mitzvot. Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'yamarta lehem v'yasu lehem tzitzit al kanfei v'gdehem ledoratam v'natnu al tzitzit hakana petiol techelet v'haya lachem letzitzit oritem oto uzchartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam V'lo tatu racharei levavachem v'yacharei nechem asher tem zonim achareihem leman dizgaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kadoshim leloechem ani Adonai Eloechem asher hotzeiti etachem me'eretz Mitzrayim leod lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Eloechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 43a. This is our enduring affirmation binding on us that Adonai is our God and there is none other, and we, Israel, are God's people. God is our sovereign, redeeming us from earthly rulers, delivering us from the hand of all tyrants, bringing judgment upon our oppressors, and just retribution upon all our mortal enemies, performing wonders beyond understanding and marvels beyond all reckoning. God places us among the living, God, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. Adonai avenged us with miracles before Pharaoh, offered signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them through the divided water of the Sea of Reeds, as their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths. God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name. U'malchuto b'ratzon kibaleha Moshe u'Miriam u'vnei Yisrael chanishira b'simcha rabba v'yamachu chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedor b'kodesh nora tehilot o seifele malchutecha u'vnecha bo kiyam lifnei Moshe Zeli anu v'yameru Adonai imloch leolam voed v'nehemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov u'galog mid chazak mimenu baruch et Adonai ka'ol Yisrael. Page 45. Ashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Ve'amideinu Malkeinu Lechayim Ufaros Aleinu Sukat Shalomecha V'takneinu B'yetzatova Miofanecha ve'hoshienu leman shemecha v'agin badenu u'shmortzeitenu ve'in l'chaimu shalom yatav yad olam ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha baruch et Adonai ha'bochet sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Page 46, we rise. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash Shabbat v'yinafash v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam barit olam. We now pray the silent Amidah, pages 47 through 52. Pray in Hebrew, pray in English, or the best language of all, the language of the heart. be seated when you're finished. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah melech Adon lechol Shalom. Ki atah melech Adon lechol Shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael b'chol et u'v'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. And we turn to page 56 and we rise as the ark is open for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונם ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שעונתי שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרא בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגבי מרמים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד עמד מלכנו וזולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד על כן כתוב בתורתך אדוני מלך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. This week, we will observe yahrzeits for Alice Kleinberg, Moses J. Berman, Jamala Al-Hadef, Ezra Axelrod, Albert David Capeluto, Eli Cohen, Isaac Saul Kreisman, Thelma Mendel, Belle Kermish, Eric Nur, Sidney Besser, Bertha Margolis, Ronnie Rosen, Sidney Rosen, Hyman M. Schwartz. Those observing yahrzeit and those who mourn, please rise and join me, page 58, for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, b'yoma divra chirutei v'yamlech malchutei, b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'galav izman kariv yimaru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ulmeil maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei kudisha barichu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'imahu amen yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imahu amen. Oseh shalom b'mirmav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imahu amen. You may be seated. Again, thank you for joining us, for joining me for Shabbat services. Services will continue tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. And tomorrow night we will end Shabbat together via Zoom with the Alabama Community Virtual Havdalah at 6 p.m. There is no religious school this Sunday. In fact, we don't start up till the second Sunday, I think, in January. And the office will be closed Monday in observance of New Year's Day. So I hope everyone has a wonderful New Year's. There will be services also Monday and Thursday at 7:15. And I think that's enough for the announcement. So we will conclude our service on page 211. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'ed nasa v'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol leva ado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu yiyeh betifara v'hu yiyeh betifara v'hu echad v'yein sheni lam shelo le'achbira beli reshit beli tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra v'lo ha'oz v'hamisra Vehu eli v'chai go'ali v'tzor chevli b'Etz Ahayem vehu nisi umanosli menat kosi b'yom mekra v'nat kosi b'yom mekra b'yado avkid ruchi b'yet ishan v'yaira v'imaruchi geviyati Adonai li v'lo ira Adonai li v'lo ira Shabbat shalom.